Hello, welcome to the Movie Zone. Today, we are recapping Season 1, Episode 8 of HBO's Game of Thrones. Ned Stark's failure to arrest Joffrey and the Queen led to massacre in the Red Keep. Up north, Robb Stark assembles the Father's banners and marches south. Be prepared for spoilers. Let's begin. In the Red Keep, Lannister forces are now mobilized and tasked to exterminate every Stark bannerman they come across. Arya trains with her dancing master, oblivious to the ongoing slaughter. Sir Meryn Trant, a member of the Kingsguard, enters the room with a bunch of Lannister guardsmen and attempts to apprehend her. With only his wooden sword, Syrio tussles with the Lannister men, buying time for Arya to escape. She runs to the stables and finds their belongings sprawled in the mud. A stable boy finds Arya and grabs her, attempting to bring her to the Queen, but gets stabbed in the gut. Meanwhile, Sansa is walking down a hall with Septa Mordain when they hear sounds of swords and screams coming their way. The Septa tells her to run and hide in her quarters. The Hound eventually finds Sansa and brings her to Cersei. Ned Stark is now locked up in the dungeons of the Red Keep. A cloaked Varys visits and offers him some water. He tells Ned how stupid it was to tell the Queen his knowledge of the Lannisters' secret. Ned argues mercy drove his actions, as he hoped Cersei might have saved her children if she'd known in advance. It was your mercy that killed the king, Varys tells him. Ned's confident Cersei won't kill him, since Tyrion is still in Catelyn's captivity. Or so he thinks. Varys reveals Tyrion is now a free man. Ned desperately asks Varys where his allegiance truly lies. The realm, my lord, Varys replies. Someone must. Jon's group returns after the oath-taking, dragging two of the corpses of their fellow brothers with them. Lord Commander Mormont orders them to haul the bodies to Maester Aemon for further inspection. Later, Mormont summons Jon to inform him of the king's death and of Ned's arrest in the capital. Cersei and the remainder of the small council summon Sansa and manipulate her. Cersei instructs her to write a letter to Robb, telling him to come to King's Landing and peacefully bend the knee. Sansa agrees and starts writing. When Robb receives the letter, Maester Luwin quickly assumes these are the Queen's words in Sansa's hand. Robb calls for all of the Stark bannermen to start preparations for war and the march south to free his daughter. Theon asks him if he's afraid. I must be, Robb says. Theon replies, good, it means you're not stupid. Catelyn tries to convince her sister to mobilize the Knights of the Vale and fight the Lannisters. Lysa refuses, as she wouldn't risk her son's life for another one of Ned's wars. She says the Knights of the Vale will stay in the Vale to protect Robin. Jon and Sam are peacefully doing their jobs when Alliser Thorne comes in and snarkily intimidates Jon. Not only a bastard, Alliser tells him, but a traitor's bastard. Jon snaps and tries to stab him with a knife, only to be stopped by his fellow watchman. Lord Commander Mormont witnesses this and sends Jon to his quarters. Jon notices Ghost whimpering and scratching at the door. He lets the dog out and follows Ghost to Mormont's quarters. He sees a familiar face barreling towards him. It's Othor, or rather, the reanimated version of him. He stabs it with his sword and sees Lord Commander Mormont, who's carrying a lamp. He grabs and hurls it at zombie Othor, buying them time to escape the chamber. Sam speaks of the White Walkers' legend as their group burns the undead bodies. He says these creatures sleep beneath the ice for thousands of years, and when they wake up, he says, I hope the wall's high enough. In Essos, the Khalasar invades a nearby village, slaughtering men and violating the women. Daenerys tells Khal Drogo to spare them. Drogo fulfills his wife's wishes, angering some of the Dothraki. One man in particular, a writer named Mago, is furious by this and challenges the Khal to a battle. Drogo takes a wound to the chest and rips Mago's tongue out. Daenerys, concerned about his wound, accepts the help of a healer named Mirri Maz Duur, one of the women she rescued. Robb Stark assembles his bannermen and declares Galbart Glover as the leader of the vanguard. The head of House Umber, Lord Jon Umber, more commonly called as the Great Jon, firmly disagrees and insists on leading the formation or he will leave. After being threatened as an oathbreaker, Umber's about to draw his blade when Grey Wind leaps and munches on his fingers. The room bursts out laughing. The next day, Osha and Bran both have a chat in the Godswood. All these swords, she says, they should be going north north, boy, not south. Robb is having a strategy meeting when Catelyn arrives. They analyze Sansa's letter and consider all the options they have. Catelyn says this war will determine their fate, and failure will result in death. In a later meeting, they all agree victory will rely on crossing the Trident, in which they need Lord Walder Frey's bridge to cross. Lord Frey is known for his unreliability and shaky personality. The meeting is interrupted when guards bring in a captured Lannister scout. To the surprise of everyone, Robb frees the scout and orders him to deliver a message. Tell Lord Tywin winter is coming for him. Tyrion and Bronn arrive at the Lannister camp with the help of the Hill tribesmen. Tyrion explains the situation to Tywin, who berates Tyrion for being such an inferior son compared to Jaime. They are about to discuss the tribesmen's reward when they are interrupted by the news of Robb Stark crossing the Neck. Tywin asks the Hill tribesmen to fight beside them. They agree, but only if Tyrion comes with them. Joffrey, now sitting as king, holds court in the Red Keep. Commander Janos Slynt of the City Watch is raised to the status of lordship and is granted the seat of Harrenhal, while Tywin Lannister is appointed as Hand of the King. Cersei calls on Ser Barristan Selmy and replaces him with Jaime Lannister. Ser Barristan, who's vowed to serve for life, opposes the decision. He takes off his armor, saying he will die as a knight if need be. He throws his blade at Joffrey's feet and storms off. Sansa requests an audience with the king, asking him to grant his father mercy. She speculates her father must have been tricked by the Baratheon brothers. Joffrey, moved by her words, says he will agree to give mercy on one condition: Ned Stark must confess and recognize his kingship. What do you think about this episode? Tell us in the comments below. Check out other episodes on our channel and be sure to like and subscribe. See you next time.